Hello and welcome to the Access Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Vin Masana. Tonight we're joined by a very special guest, Nick Benhardt. Nick is a senior at Rocky Point High School. He's also a commit of Central Connecticut State University. But before we get into our interview with him, just a quick message from our sponsors. No matter what the level you play at, everyone wants to be at their best. Elite level athletes have a team around them to help them excel in every facet of the game. If you've ever wondered how you can have the same level of attention that the world-class athletes do, but without breaking the bank, then the Vitality Center is for you. Their team of specialists can get you back in the game quickly and safely and keep you at your best throughout the season. Their holistic one-stop shop approach can address physical and mental parts of the game to help you gain the edge you need to compete with the best. Conveniently located in Comac, New York, right off the LIE in Northern State, the Vitality Center is ready for you. To learn more, go to vitalitycenterli.com or give them a call at 631-864-2784. All right, Nick, so as I mentioned, you committed to Central Connecticut State earlier this summer. Can you tell our audience a little bit about your experience with the college recruiting process?
Well, it kind of got altered by COVID, but honestly, it was a lot of video. It was a lot of just off-season work, and then at 365, Penn was taking a lot of video, just sending it out to different colleges, and when they were able to come see us in the summer, then it got a little bit better, and then I think I had like 6 or 7 coaches reach out in the winter, and then I think about 3 or 4 of them came to watch in the summer, and that's kind of how I got to where I am right now. They came, I think, in late August or something to, I think it was a Long Island tournament, actually, and they saw me there, and then I went up for the visit, and I kind of just liked it there, and that was my decision.
So what was it about the school that you liked?
The coaches were awesome. The program is just, it kind of speaks for itself with the championships that they win. I know the head coach, Hickey, has been there for, I think, close to 20 years, maybe a little bit over. But they win constant championships. They play in a bunch of regionals, and that's what I'm looking for at the next level, to hopefully get drafted out of there.
Yeah, so that's probably a big burden off your back. Everybody wants to get that commitment out of the way, which you were able to. Let's talk about your summer with East Coast Lumberjacks. You mentioned Pem, referring, of course, to Ryan Pembroke. Can you talk a little bit about your time with them and some of the experience that you guys have had on the field?
So I've played with them for 3 years, and I'd say it was absolutely the best decision I've ever made baseball-wise. I've played on multiple teams, and I've had really good coaches in the past, but at this, it was just the next level, and I think that we're the best ones. There's, the Titans, Beast, and they're all good organizations and everything, but I think that we have one team, and I think that the tournaments that we just play at, it's the highest level of competition, the best coaching, and I just love it. It was awesome.
Who were some of the players on your team that performed really well this year that you think deserve a lot of attention this coming year?
We got a bunch of guys from all over the East Coast, like a guy from West Virginia, but I'd say a few of the kids were Brandon Peterson from upstate. We had a shortstop, Michael McKinney, who's going to NC State. Mike Lombardi from, I think it's Fox Lane upstate. He's going to Tulane. Matt Carrera, Matt Martinez, a bunch of those guys. Honestly, it was just like our whole lineup was just, there was no weak spots. It was just complete. And then our rotation was crazy, too. We had McCreary, who's going to South Carolina now, Colin Ruddy. There's just so many guys. Like, I can't even list all the names.
And when you're pitching on a team like that, do you feel confidence when you go to the mound that, you just got to, throw strikes, get outs, and they're going to do the job for you?
Keep everything low.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. I mean,
And Quinlan behind the dish, right?
Exactly. Quinlan, that's another one that was amazing all summer.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, It's all up and down. There's no weak spots. It was like an amazing summer. I couldn't ask for anything else.
Yeah, and Quinlan in particular is a kid that stands out to me because obviously he's going to Army, so I think that kind of speaks for itself as far as his talent level and also his leadership. But, what's it like having a guy like that, and even just in the clubhouse? He's going to be somebody that galvanizes the group and keeps everybody together, right?
He's a great guy. I love him. He's one of my best friends on the team, and he's just awesome. He's like a leader behind the plate. Him and also the catcher, Martinez, who's going to High Point. I think he's out of Pennsylvania. But he's awesome. I can't say. I know we're rivals, but Rocky Point and Sayville. But
Yeah.
after that, he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, so that's kind of a good segue. I wanted to talk about the high school season, of course. For those that don't know, you went 5-0 with a 0.80 ERA. Rocky Point had, as good of a regular season as you could have. It was kind of a shock that, you didn't win the championship. I think you guys got upset by Harborfields in the playoffs. But from a personal standpoint, you must have felt like you were firing on all cylinders this season, right?
As a team, it was definitely the best high school team I've ever played on with JV or whatever. Just the most talent. It was like a brotherhood. It doesn't matter what game we were in, who we were playing. It didn't matter. There was games where we were down 9-0, and we just clawed back the whole game. And I think our record spoke for itself. But that game, we made a bunch of errors. I didn't have my A game, and they got the better of us.
Mm-hmm.
So next year we know what to do.
I wanted to talk about some of the individuals on the team. Sean Hamilton going to Stony Brook, terrific pitcher, but he also had a pretty amazing season with the bat too. So
he could swing it. I've played with him since I was 8, and he's just been every year. He could hit the shit out of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
He just squares the ball up every time. It seems like
it's crazy. Him and Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Miller is my shortstop. That infield, James Maggio.
Mm-hmm.
I played in the summer with NC State and Tulane, and I'd take either one of them. Doesn't matter. Both of them are crazy. Both infields.
Cody Miller, I think, in my opinion, probably the best hitter, or one of the best 2 hitters in the 2022 class on Long Island.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And not just a hitter, but he's an all-around player as well. So
5'2".
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a leader too. I have nothing but great things to say about him.
And can steal base when you need to.
He has burners. It's crazy. It's every game, just run.
So that's nuts. Bad news for the conference next year. I think you guys are returning most of your core players from last year. That was almost undefeated during the regular season. And then of course got to mention league MVP as a sophomore, I guess. Dominic Carbone. What impressed you about him?
Everything. Kid can throw. He can hit. He's a leader. He can run. It's like Miller.
Yeah.
I think he's going to develop, and he's just going to be just as good, if not better, next year.
And it's scary how young he is. Usually the league MVPs, they're typically dominated by seniors.
Yeah.
Maybe every once in a while you see a junior, but very rarely somebody of that age. And to do it on both sides of the ball, he didn't just hit. No. He also went out every week and pitched as well. So, usually when we do these, we talk about the core players for the next season, but you guys pretty much are returning all the core players. Is there anybody that we didn't mention that you think deserves a little recognition?
My catcher, Nico Cerise. Christian Ark also, he's first base. He just started this year, but he did great over there.
Mm-hmm.
We really have like a full team. Our rotation stacked. It's 3 kids that are going to be playing Division I baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we're looking really good going into next season, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, what kind of stuff did Coach Anzalone, do for you guys during the COVID year to keep you guys in shape and on top of everything? Were you guys able to stay in touch and
he was definitely he was sending messages in the group chat all the time. He was just keeping on top of us and making sure that we were not slacking off and everything, and it paid off. Him and Coach Stroving too.
Mm-hmm.
And my pitching coach Glenn, best pitching coach out there, 100%. He called all my games, shook them off once, got taken deep, never did it again. So,
Glenn, what's his last name?
Brian Glenn.
Awesome. And so for this off season, just from a individual standpoint, what are you looking to focus on?
Last off season, I gained 25 pounds. I fell in love with lifting and just eating a ton. And this season, I lost a little bit of weight, went into it, kind of leaned out, and I think it paid off a little bit. But I'm looking to gain another 15, 20 pounds, walking to the school season like 195, and hopefully reach. My goal is 94.
Mm-hmm.
It's up 5 miles an hour from where I am this year, and I went up 6 last year, so I think that it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to lift and just keep eating, stretching, everything like that, and hopefully I can get there.
Mm-hmm. And who are some players in Major League Baseball that you try to emulate?
I mean Garrett Cole, but like everyone kind of says that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Walker Bueller. I love his mechanics.
Me too.
Everything about
He's got
him.
some of the cleanest right-hand mechanics in the game, I think.
And I like it because he's like 6 foot. He's short guy. He's not 6'4" like DeGrom. I love DeGrom, but
Yeah, you feel like you're not on the same.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have that advantage, so I like Bueller.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite pitcher growing up was Kershaw, but he's kind of fallen off a little bit now. But
Father Time I think caught up to him a little bit. You can only dominate for so long.
Yeah.
So let's see. We'll go down the line here. Favorite pregame meal?
Probably, I like to have like 2 bananas, and I like to keep it like really light, maybe a bagel.
Okay.
Just a lot of water, Gatorade sometimes, but not much, just light, easy.
How about favorite musical artist?
Probably Jason Aldean.
Okay, I like that. Country music.
Yeah.
Favorite any superstitions on day of the game?
I only, like, if there's a game at 4, I won't start stretching or throwing until an hour and a half before the game. And I take everything really slow. I have a whole routine, and I just plan it out, but I won't do anything before an hour and a half.
Okay. I think that's pretty reasonable. That's not crazy. Anything like, not stepping on the line or anything like that?
I don't step on the, I think that's just a given for all baseball players. But I do, my dad passed when I was 6, so before every game, I take my foot and I do his initials into the mound. That's really about it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Who did you kind of lean on when you were young, when you were looking for advice?
Well, I was playing on multiple teams, so I would say in general, I didn't always have one person. I would say my mom probably, but not that was just for life-related stuff. But for baseball, I kind of sometimes my teammates and just kind of learn and develop and go through myself.
Yeah, it's a very unnatural thing. Not many 6-year-olds have to deal with that. Usually it's much later on in life. I was 21, so you had your whole life ahead of you at that point, and you probably don't even have that many memories, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think that I had to grow up a little bit faster than a lot of people, but I think that it's going to benefit me later in life.
Absolutely, it is. It definitely makes you mature at a young age. I can attest to that. How about this? What was your favorite experience that you've had on a baseball field?
I mean, me personally, probably the East Islip game this year, because it was us, and I lost the first game that I didn't lose. I didn't technically have the loss, but I threw 7 innings, and it was a tie game, and we did end up losing, so I kind of count myself for that loss. So I walked into that game, and this was the second game, and it was, we were the top 2 teams, and I went in there, and I think I had a 4-hitter, and it was a shutout. It was like one of the best games I've ever thrown. Game-wise, that was it. And experience-wise, I'd say definitely going down to Florida this year with the team, bonding, and we ended up coming home national champs.
Very cool. East Islip, I just wanted to touch on because they won the championship this year, and they were, they were loaded, honestly. I mean, looking back on it now, what do you remember from facing them? Like, what made them such a successful team?
Their lineup was deep. They were all good hitters. There was they had no weak spots. They didn't have any guys that were, you went up there and they didn't put up a competitive at-bat. But, I think that ultimately, I think we were the better team this year. But, it didn't show. They won. And I guess we just got to work harder and come out next year and show them up.
You just got to prove it in 2022.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good spot to end on. We went for our goal of 15 plus minutes, I'd say. So, Nick, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
Best of luck this year. Thank you to Showtime Athletics for hosting another episode of the Access Baseball Podcast. And thank you to the Vitality Center for sponsoring this podcast series. See you guys next week.